Hello, learners, and welcome. In today's podcast, we're going to improve our English using a story. We'll start by reading the story, and then we'll break down the key vocabulary and phrases in a simple, easy-to-understand way. Be sure to stick around until the end, where we'll have a few questions for you about the story. We'd love to see your answers in the comments below. And if you'd like a free PDF of the full story with all the vocabulary, you'll find a link in the description.
Welcome, adventurers, to the deep dive. Today we have a very special mission, especially for all of you who are learning English.
That's right.
We're going to journey deep into a really captivating story from ancient Greece, and then importantly, we're going to unlock the wonderful English words and phrases that, bring that story to life. Think of this as your shortcut. Not just to understanding a fantastic tale, but also to truly grasping how to use its language in your own English. We'll go nice and slowly, very clearly, and make sure every word makes sense.
That's absolutely right. For our English language learners, we've prepared this deep dive, really focusing on clarity, on context, and, well, practical application.
Good.
We'll guide you through an ancient Greek myth, a classic example of what's called a hero's journey. We'll narrate it very slowly, very carefully. Then we'll take plenty of time to explain the key vocabulary, the key expressions, helping you connect these words directly to the powerful story.
Yeah, making it stick.
Exactly. It's all about making learning English engaging, memorable, and deeply rooted in a story you hopefully won't forget.
So settle in, get comfortable, open your ears to a world of ancient wonders. Our story today is one of the most famous Greek myths, Perseus and Medusa.
A classic.
It really is. It's a tale overflowing with chilling prophecies, powerful gods, fearsome monsters, and a hero's triumphant yet, complicated return. Are you ready to dive into the language of legend with us? Let's begin. Okay, so our story begins way back in the ancient city of Argos, a powerful kingdom many, many centuries ago, ruled by a king named Acrisius.
Right, King Acrisius.
Now, Acrisius was a ruler, yes, but he also carried this profound fear deep in his heart, a fear put there by a terrifying prediction.
And what's truly fascinating here, right at the start, is how immediately the theme of fate, or you could say destiny, is introduced. Now, for our English learners, these words are crucial. Fate usually refers to events that are predetermined, things that are, meant to happen, often by some higher power. Exactly.
Yeah.
Destiny is very similar, but often it refers more to a person's ultimate purpose or what's meant to be for them.
Okay.
And in ancient Greek mythology, these prophecies, these divine predictions, they're often depicted as inescapable. That means you cannot change them no matter how hard you try to avoid what's been foretold.
So Acrisius is already in trouble.
Pretty much. His actions, though, very extreme and quite cruel, as we'll see, are his desperate attempt to alter what the gods have already decided. He genuinely thinks he can outsmart his future.
And what a chilling prophecy it was. An oracle told him this terrible secret. Now, for our learners, an oracle is like a priestess or a priest who speaks for the gods. A person believed to have divine guidance, the ability to see the future.
A direct line to the gods, supposedly.
Right, and this oracle declared that he, King Acrisius himself, would be killed by his own grandson.
Oof. That's heavy.
Imagine hearing that. Your own family member, your descendant, would cause your death. This news, it filled him with absolute terror and desperation.
It's a classic setup, isn't it? That power of the prophecy immediately sets a tone of dramatic irony. We, the listeners, know something the character is desperately trying to avoid.
Yeah.
And from a language perspective, notice the words used here like chilling, terrifying, desperation. These strong adjectives really help us understand the seriousness of it all. King Acrisius' state of mind.
So, completely consumed by this terror, King Acrisius hatched a plan. A very desperate and, frankly, cruel plan. He had only one daughter. Her name was Danae. And his logic was simple, if a bit twisted. If she never has a child, then there's no grandson to fulfill this awful prophecy.
Stop it at the source.
Exactly. So he locked her away. He built this underground room, a prison really, made entirely of solid bronze. Bronze, that strong metal.
Very secure.
Or so he thought. He hoped by keeping her totally isolated, completely alone, she could never, ever have a child. He really believed he could outsmart destiny.
And this action, locking his daughter away, it's such a powerful example of a mortal trying to defy a divine prophecy. To defy, for our learners, means to openly resist or refuse to obey.
Going against the gods.
Precisely. But in these ancient myths, Attempts like this often lead directly to the prophecy's fulfillment, sometimes in the most unexpected, ironic ways. It highlights the huge power the gods were believed to have over human lives and the futility of trying to go against their will.
Futility.
Yeah, futility means uselessness or pointlessness. His struggle, human will versus divine fate, that's a core element in so many Greek tragedies. It teaches us about the limits of human power.
And this is exactly where the gods themselves step right into the story. They directly influence human events in a way no human could predict or stop.
Divine meddling.
Zeus, the most powerful god on Mount Olympus, the ruler of all the gods, he saw Danae in her lonely bronze prison, and he desired her.
Of course he did.
And Zeus, being a god, had, well, extraordinary ways to get what he wanted, ways that defied mortal understanding.
Which brings us to a really key concept: divine intervention.
Okay.
For our learners, this phrase, divine intervention, means the direct involvement of a god, or maybe multiple gods, in the affairs of mortals, in the lives of human beings.
So the gods getting involved.
Exactly. When gods directly take action to change events or help people, it's not just a romantic encounter here. It's a profound act that directly sets the stage for Perseus's extraordinary birth and his whole heroic journey later on.
Right.
It also shows us that even the most secure human-made prison can't hold back a god's will.
So what did Zeus do? He transformed himself into a shower of beautiful, sparkling golden rain.
Golden rain. Incredible image.
Imagine golden light falling like gentle drops, shimmering, radiant. This magical golden rain managed to seep through the roof. Seep means it sort of slowly went or trickled through even the tiniest cracks in Danae's bronze prison.
Wow. Unstoppable.
It was a magical, impossible entry, bypassing all of Acrisius's precautions. And so Danae conceived. That means she became pregnant. And later, she had a son, Perseus. The grandson the oracle had foretold, born despite everything Acrisius did to prevent it.
That word seep is excellent there. It's a verb describing a very gradual, often unseen movement. You might say water seeped into the basement or the news slowly seeped out. It really conveys the subtle yet unstoppable power of Zeus.
Absolutely. So when King Acrisius discovered the baby, Perseus, he was, as you can imagine, furious, just livid.
He must have been. His plan failed.
Completely. He refused to believe Zeus was involved. Maybe pride, maybe denial. He just couldn't accept it. He was still terrified of the prophecy, convinced this grandson would kill him.
But he couldn't bring himself to kill the baby directly.
No. He didn't want to directly kill his own family, his own flesh and blood. That was a line he wouldn't cross, even in his fear. So what did he do instead?
He found another way.
He put Danae and the baby Perseus into a large wooden chest. A terrible, cruel decision. Basically indirect murder. And he cast them out to sea, left them to the waves, hoping they'd just disappear and the prophecy would be avoided that way.
Casting them adrift. It's another attempt to evade fate without, getting his own hands dirty. Letting nature or the gods decide their end.
Yeah.
And that phrase, cast adrift or cast out to sea, we sometimes use it metaphorically today. It can mean abandoning someone or leaving them in a really vulnerable situation.
Interesting.
And this peril at sea, it's a common motif in mythology. The hero's humble or perilous beginning, often abandoned, only to be saved by luck or divine help. It marks Perseus as extraordinary right from the start, marked by human cruelty but also divine favor.
Okay, so they're adrift in this chest. The sea is vast, right? Endlessly stretching out. But fate, or maybe destiny, had a bigger plan for Perseus and his mother.
Things weren't over yet.
Not at all. The wooden chest with Danae and little Perseus inside wasn't lost forever. Guided by, well, unseen forces, perhaps, it washed ashore on an island called Seriphos.
Washed ashore.
Yeah, washing ashore just means being carried by the sea onto the land. A safe landing after a terrifying journey.
And this part of the story really shows the duality of human nature.
Duality.
Meaning two opposing sides. We just saw the extreme cruelty of King Acrisius, right?
Mm.
Now we see the profound kindness of Dictys, the fisherman who finds them. It sets up Perseus's humble beginnings, his compassionate upbringing. That's a classic trait for many heroes.
Okay.
Despite his divine birth, he starts life in a very ordinary, grounded way, learning from this simple, good man. That contrast helps us appreciate the complexity of people, good and evil, side by side.
So on the island of Seriphos, Danae and Perseus are found by this kind fisherman, Dictys. He saw their plight, their really difficult, dangerous situation, and rescued them.
Plight. That's a great word for learners. It means a dangerous, difficult, or unfortunate situation. You might hear the refugees were in a terrible plight. It adds empathy.
Definitely. So Dictys rescues them, raises Perseus like his own son, gives them a home, a loving family life, and for a while there was real peace and happiness on Seriphos.
But it didn't last, did it?
Sadly, no. This peace was short-lived. Short-lived just means it didn't last long. Dictys, the kind fisherman, had a brother, King Polydectes.
Ah, the king.
And King Polydectes was a cruel and tyrannical man, completely unlike his kind or benevolent brother. Benevolent means kind and well-meaning.
Okay, so the opposite of Dictys.
Exactly. And this king, Polydectes, he fell in love with Danae, Perseus's mother, but Perseus, who was now grown into a strong young man, was very protective of his mother. He stood between the king and Danae, shielding her.
Protective. Good word.
So Polydectes needed a way, a very clever and devious way, to get rid of Perseus, send him far away, maybe even get him killed.
This is a pivotal moment in the hero's journey. The hero faces a challenge that pushes them towards their destiny. Polydectes' devious trick creates what seems like an impossible situation for Perseus.
Devious meaning.
Cunning, deceitful, tricky. Polydectes isn't playing fair. He forces Perseus to make this grand, maybe foolish promise, and that sets him on his true quest. This happens a lot in myths. The hero is tricked or challenged into an impossible task. It's crucial for the hero's growth.
So Polydectes hatched this truly devious trick. To hatch a plan means to invent it secretly.
Scheming.
He pretended he was going to marry another woman. Not true, just a manipulation. He announced that all his subjects, and a subject is just someone living under the rule of a king or government, must bring him a horse as a wedding gift.
A convenient custom for his plan.
Very convenient. Perseus, son of a poor fisherman, had no horse. He felt deeply ashamed, so he boldly declared to the king that he would bring any other gift the king desired. Young, proud, maybe a bit too eager.
And there we see the hero's pride. Maybe a touch of hubris, that Greek idea of excessive pride leading to trouble. Perseus's bold declaration, though well-meant, gives Polydectes the exact opening he was waiting for.
He walked right into the trap.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
A character's internal trait, like pride, directly influences the plot.
So the king, Polydectes, seized his chance immediately. To seize a chance means to quickly, eagerly take an opportunity.
I didn't hesitate.
Not at all. With this sly, knowing smile, Polydectes demanded the one thing he thought was absolutely impossible to get: the head of Medusa.
The impossible gift.
He believed Perseus could never complete this task. It was basically a death sentence.
And Medusa. Wow. A truly terrifying figure. She was the only mortal one of three monstrous sisters, the Gorgons.
Mortal meaning she could be killed?
Yes, mortal means subject to death. Her sisters, Steno and Euryale, were immortal. They couldn't die. Medusa's appearance was horrifying snakes for hair.
Oh, snakes.
Right. But her gaze, that was the truly terrifying part. A gaze is a steady look. Any living thing that looked directly into Medusa's eyes would instantly turn to solid stone.
Instantly.
Instantly. This was her petrifying gaze, her deadliest weapon. It shows just how dangerous, how utterly impossible this quest seemed.
Okay, so Perseus had made this impossible pledge, a solemn promise to bring back Medusa's head. His quest seemed completely doomed, didn't it?
Absolutely. How could a young man, even a brave one, face that and survive?
But remember, the gods had a hand in his birth. They intervened then.
Divine intervention again.
And now they favored him again. They knew he was on a path that was, in a way, destined.
And the hero's journey often involves receiving magical or divine gifts. These are absolutely essential for overcoming obstacles that seem insurmountable.
Like Medusa's gaze.
Exactly. And these tools, they aren't just powerful. They often require cleverness and ingenuity from the hero, like Athena telling him to use the shield as a mirror.
Cleverness and ingenuity.
Cleverness is being quick and intelligent. Ingenuity is being clever, original, inventive. The gods provide the means, but the hero still needs wisdom and courage to use them right.
Indeed. Two very powerful gods came to help Perseus. Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war strategy.
Hermes?
And Hermes, the swift messenger god. They came to his aid, gave him gifts. Athena gave him a highly polished bronze shield, so shiny it was like a perfect mirror.
Crucial.
And she warned him explicitly, never look directly at Medusa. Only look at her reflection in the shield. Life-saving advice.
And Hermes, the messenger god, he gave Perseus an unbreakable sword. Not just any sword. It was made of a mythical substance called adamantine. Now, for our learners, adamantine, from the Greek word adamas, meaning unconquerable.
Ah, unconquerable.
Right. It refers to something incredibly hard, strong, unbreakable, harder than anything known on Earth. This magical quality ensured It could cut through Medusa's tough, scaly skin and, well, behead her.
Wow. So a magic shield and a magic sword.
Essential. Without these specific divine gifts, Perseus would surely have failed.
But he needed even more help. The gods knew this quest required a full set of magical tools.
He wasn't done collecting items.
Not yet. They told him he needed 3 more special items held by some ancient mystical beings called the Stygian nymphs. Finding them was another challenge altogether.
And to find these nymphs, first he had to visit the Grey.
The Grey? Who were they?
3 very, very ancient sisters. So old they were born with only 1 eye and 1 tooth between all 3 of them.
1 eye and 1 tooth for 3 sisters.
Exactly. They had to pass the eye and the tooth back and forth to see or eat.
That's bizarre.
It really is. And this scene highlights the importance of wit and cleverness over just brute strength. Wit is that sharp intelligence, quick thinking. Perseus's cleverness is just as crucial as his divine weapons.
So how did he use his wit here?
He waited for the perfect moment. As they were passing the eye from one sister to another, in that split second when none of them could see,
He snatched it.
he snatched it, held it tight, and refused to give it back until he told him where to find the Stygian nymphs. They were terrified of being blind forever, so they reluctantly spilled the beans.
Clever. So he got the location.
He did. And he found the nymphs. And they, perhaps impressed by his cleverness or fulfilling their part in his destiny, generously gave him his final, absolutely necessary tools. These items would make the impossible possible.
Okay, these final 3 gifts. Can you break them down for us? Why was each one so vital?
Absolutely. Each one was essential, like pieces of a survival puzzle. First, they gave him a pair of winged sandals.
Like Hermes has.
Exactly. Magical sandals, allowing him to fly swiftly through the air. Great speed, great agility, vital for approaching Medusa, perhaps from above.
Okay, winged sandals. What else?
Second, a magical bag. A special satchel with a unique name. The Kibisis.
Kibisis?
K-I-B-I-S-I-S. Kibisis. This bag was specially designed to safely store Medusa's head after he cut it off. Remember, the head was still dangerous.
Right, the petrifying gaze still worked even then.
It did. So the Kibisis contained that power. And third, perhaps most importantly for his approach, the cap of invisibility, also known as Hades' helm.
Invisibility.
Yes, a magical helmet making him completely disappear. Invisible to mortal and monstrous eyes. This allowed him to sneak up on Medusa. Imagine having that power.
Okay, so he's fully equipped now. He's got the shield, the adamantine sword, winged sandals, the Kibisis bag, and the cap of invisibility. Perseus flew swiftly through the air, all the way to the Gorgon's lair.
A lair. That's a hidden den or resting place, usually for a wild animal, or in this case, monsters, a place of great danger.
He found the 3 sisters, Stheno, Uriel, and Medusa, asleep in their, well, grotesque lair, resting. But the scene around them, chilling.
What did he see?
All around them were the lifeless stone statues of their previous victims.
Oh, well,
People who had looked into Medusa's eyes. Frozen, silent statues. A terrifying permanent reminder of her deadly power. It really emphasizes the danger how many others had failed before him.
he had to be incredibly careful.
More careful than ever. Using his polished shield as a mirror, just like Athena told him, he avoided looking directly at Medusa, only her reflection, keeping himself safe from her petrifying gaze.
Smart, following instructions.
He swooped down from the air, fast and silent, heart pounding, but his resolve firm. And with one powerful, decisive strike of his unbreakable adamantine sword, he cut off her head.
The climax.
The absolute climax of his impossible quest. A truly heroic blow.
And that word climax for our learners, it means the most intense, exciting, or important point of something, the turning point in a story. Everything builds up to this moment.
Exactly. But then, from her severed neck, something truly incredible and unexpected happened. A moment of strange creation.
Was it?
2 beings, fully formed, magnificent, sprang out. One was the amazing winged horse, Pegasus, soaring into the sky.
Pegasus, born from Medusa.
Born from Medusa's neck.
Yeah.
And the other was a giant warrior named Creaser, new life born from death and monster slain.
That birth of Pegasus, it's such a powerful mythical image. It shows how even death, even monstrousness can bring forth new life and beauty in these ancient tales. It speaks to the transformative power in these myths.
It really does. But Perseus couldn't admire them for long. Medusa's 2 immortal sisters, Stheno and Euryale, were waking up, enraged.
He had to get out of there, fast.
He acted quickly, carefully placed the still dangerous head into his magical bag, the Kibisis. Remember, even cut off, it could still petrify.
Safe containment?
Then, putting on the cap of invisibility, he vanished. To vanish means to disappear suddenly and completely. He became unseen, escaping the other two furious Gorgons searching for their sister's killer.
Phew. Mission accomplished.
Disappear suddenly and completely. He became unseen, escaping the other two furious Gorgons searching for their sister's killer.
Phew. Mission accomplished. But the story's not over.
Not by a long shot. His quest to slay Medusa was complete, but his journey continued. More adventures, more responsibilities. On his way home, flying with his winged sandals, he saw a terrible sight. A beautiful princess, Andromeda, chained to a rock, left as a sacrifice to a fearsome sea monster called Cetus.
A sacrifice? Why?
Her parents were offering her to appease the monster, save their kingdom. But Perseus, being a true hero, couldn't just fly by.
He had to intervene.
He fought and killed the sea monster, Cetus, rescued Andromeda from certain death, and then he claimed her as his wife, took her with him, a reward for his heroism.
Ah, the classic rescue of the damsel in distress. It's an act of chivalry, heroism. It reinforces Perseus' character as noble.
Yeah.
The hero's journey often includes these extra acts of courage and often the reward of love or family. It shows his character developing beyond just completing one task. Shows his innate goodness.
So he returns to Seriphos, the island where he grew up, a place he left to start this crazy quest.
Back to King Polydectes.
Exactly. And he found that King Polydectes had been cruelly hurting his mother, Danae, persecuting her. That means treating her very badly, unfairly, trying to force her to marry him now that Perseus was supposedly gone.
Ah, so the king hadn't changed his ways.
Not at all. Perseus was enraged. He stormed into the king's court, full of righteous anger. He declared loudly, "I have the gift you asked for, King Polydectes." And with a dramatic flourish, he pulled Medusa's head from his cabesus.
Oh, he used the head.
He did. The king and his followers, they were mocking him, disbelieving him. They looked right at the head, not understanding the danger.
Hands up.
And just like that, instantly, they were all turned into solid stone.
Wow. Justice served. Cold, hard justice.
His mother was finally safe.
That's a classic hero's triumph. The weapon used against the monster, Medusa's head, is now used to dispense justice against a tyrant. A tyrant is a cruel and oppressive ruler. It shows Perseus' growth, using the tools from his quest to solve other problems, using a monstrous weapon to deal with human evil. That's powerful.
But the story isn't quite finished, is it? There's that final, tragic twist. Back to the beginning.
Ah, yes, the prophecy.
Years later, long after all this heroism, his marriage to Andromeda, the oracle's prophecy was tragically accidentally fulfilled.
How?
Perseus was competing in an athletic competition, sports games. He was throwing a discus, you know, that heavy, flat disc.
Track and field.
The discus veered off course, changed direction suddenly, maybe wind, maybe a bad throw. It struck an old man in the crowd, killed him instantly.
Oh no, don't tell me.
That old man was his grandfather, King Acrisius.
Grusius.
The very same. He had fled Argos years ago, trying in vain, meaning without success, to escape his fate. It shows, well, you just can't escape destiny in these stories.
Oh, wow. Tried so hard to avoid it and ran right into it. A truly tragic end to that part of the story.
Wow. What an incredible story we've just journeyed through. Full of adventure, monsters, and those dramatic, unavoidable moments. Now, for you, our English language learners, let's take some time to really understand some of the important words and phrases we heard.
Let's break them down.
This will help you not only remember the story, but also use these words confidently in your own English. We'll go slow, nice and clear.
Yes, exactly. We'll meticulously break down each term, explain its meaning carefully, connect it back to the story so you see how it works in context. Listen carefully to the pronunciation. And please, try repeating the words yourself. Active practice helps a lot.
Okay, let's start with a really foundational concept in our story. Prophecy.
Right, a prophecy. P-R-O-P-H-E-C-Y. Prophecy is a divine prediction, a statement about what will happen in the future, often believed to come from a god or some supernatural power.
Like the oracle gave to King Acrisius.
Exactly. In our story, the oracle delivered a chilling prophecy to King Acrisius about his grandson.
So, an example sentence using it.
You could say, the oracle's prophecy declared that King Acrisius would be killed by his own grandson.
Okay, and in modern use?
Well, you might say, many ancient cultures believed in the power of prophecy to guide their leaders. Or maybe, metaphorically, his early success seemed a prophecy of future greatness.
Got it. That leads perfectly into our next two related words, fate and destiny. Can you clarify these? They seem similar.
They are very similar and often used interchangeably, but there's a slight difference, a nuance. Fate, F-A-T-E, often implies an unavoidable, predetermined course of events, sometimes with a sense of doom or inevitability.
Like you can't escape it.
Right. Destiny, destiny, often carries a more positive or purposeful feeling. It suggests a person's ultimate purpose or what they are meant to achieve.
Okay, so how are they used in this story?
We could say, King Acrisius tried desperately to escape his fate, but the prophecy proved to be his ultimate destiny.
Using both. And modern examples.
For fate. It was fate that brought them together after all those years. Or, despite his efforts, he couldn't avoid the fate that awaited him.
And destiny.
She believed it was her destiny to become a great artist. Or, he felt his life was guided by an unseen destiny.
Excellent distinction, thank you. Now, the source of these predictions in the story, I want the...
An oracle. O-R-A-C-L-E. Oracle. It's a priest or a priestess who acts as a medium, a way through whom a god is believed to speak. A sacred position. The word oracle can also mean the divine prediction itself, the message, which was often quite mysterious or ambiguous.
Like in the story.
The king went to the oracle to learn his future, but he did not like what he heard.
And today, we don't really have oracles, do we?
Not in the same way, but you hear it used. In ancient Greece, consulting the oracle at Delphi was a significant event. Or, maybe metaphorically, she became the oracle of fashion advice for her friends, meaning she's the expert everyone consults.
Okay, makes sense. Now, for Perseus himself, a crucial term, demigod.
Demigod. D-E-M-I-G-O-D. Demigod. As demi suggests, meaning half. A demigod is half god and half human. One divine parent, one mortal parent.
So Perseus's father was Zeus, a god, and his mother, Danae, a mortal woman.
Exactly. This blend gives them extraordinary powers, but also connects them to human challenges.
An example sentence.
Perseus was a brave demigod who faced many dangers, thanks to his father Zeus and mother Danae.
And generally.
Many myths feature demigods performing incredible feats, often caught between the divine and human worlds.
Got it. And what set his story in motion was the involvement of his divine parent, leading us to divine intervention.
Divine intervention, a very important phrase. It means the direct involvement of a god or multiple gods in the affairs of mortals in human lives, when gods step in to change things or help people.
Like Zeus appearing as golden rain or Athena and Hermes giving gifts.
Precisely. So you could say Perseus' journey was full of divine intervention, from his birth to the gifts he received.
And a modern example may be figurative.
You might hear someone say, perhaps not literally, the sudden rain was seen by some as divine intervention, saving the crops from drought. It implies unexpected, helpful interference.
Okay. Moving to Zeus's unique action. Seep.
To seep, S-E-P, seep. It means to flow or leak slowly through porous material or small openings, a gradual, subtle movement.
Like the golden rain through the bronze roof.
Exactly. Zeus, as golden rain, managed to seep through the tiny cracks in Danae's bronze prison.
And another example.
Water began to seep into the tent after the heavy rain, or the bad news slowly seeped through the entire community, like it spread gradually.
Got it. After his birth, Perseus and Danae were cast adrift.
Cast adrift. To be abandoned or left to float on the sea without control, it implies vulnerability, uncertainty.
The cruel act by King Acrisius.
Yes. King Acrisius cruelly cast Danae and baby Perseus adrift in a wooden chest.
And metaphorically.
After losing his job, he felt completely cast adrift, unsure of his future, like feeling lost and directionless.
Okay. Now let's talk about King Polydectes. A word that describes his intentions well is devious.
Devious. D-E-V-I-O-U-S. Devious. It describes someone who uses underhanded tactics, cunning, deceitful methods to achieve a goal. Tricky, dishonest.
Like his plan to get rid of Perseus.
Exactly. King Polydectes hatched a devious trick to send Perseus away.
Another example.
The politician was known for his devious plans to gain power. It usually has a negative connotation.
Right. And the people under his rule were his subjects.
Subject. S-U-B-J-E-C-T. Subject as a noun here. A person under the authority or control of a ruler or government. In a kingdom, the people are subjects of the king.
Like when Polydectes commanded them to bring horses.
Yes. King Polydectes commanded all his subjects to bring him a horse as a wedding gift.
And today?
We still use it, especially for monarchies. The queen addressed her loyal subjects from the palace balcony.
Okay. When Perseus promised to bring any other gift, he made a pledge.
A pledge, P-L-E-D-G-E, pledge. It's a solemn promise or undertaking, a serious commitment.
Like his bold promise to the king.
Perseus made a bold pledge to the king, promising to bring any gift he desired.
And in general use?
She made a pledge to always support her community. Or he honored his pledge to help his friend. It implies a strong promise.
Got it. Now, for the monster herself, Gorgon.
Gorgon. Gorgon, Gorgon. In Greek mythology, one of 3 monstrous sisters, famous for having living snakes for hair and terrifying features.
Medusa being the most famous one.
Yes, Medusa was the most famous Gorgon, known for her deadly gaze.
Do we use this word today?
Mostly in reference to the myth, but sometimes metaphorically for a fierce or terrifying woman. That can be seen as offensive. Like, she had a fierce, almost Gorgon-like stare when she was angry. Used with caution.
Good point. And her deadly power was her petrifying gaze.
Petrifying gaze, a magical ability to turn a living being into solid stone just by looking at them. The word petrify, P-E-T-R-I-F-Y, comes from Greek petropoio, meaning to turn to stone.
Medusa's main weapon.
Definitely. Medusa's petrifying gaze was a deadly threat to anyone who dared to look into her eyes.
And we use petrifying today for fear.
Yes, very commonly. It means extremely frightening.
Yeah.
The roller coaster ride was absolutely petrifying. Or, I was petrified when I heard the noise downstairs. I was frozen with fear.
Okay. For the hero's weapon, we learned about adamantine.
Adamantine. A-D-A-M-A-N-T-I-N-E. Adamantine. From the Greek adamas, meaning unconquerable. It refers to a mythical, unbreakable substance. Incredibly strong, harder than anything known, symbolizing ultimate strength.
The material of Perseus's sword from Hermes.
Correct. Hermes gave Perseus an adamantine sword, strong enough to cut off Medusa's head.
How about using it today?
It's mostly literary or mythological, but you might see it describing something incredibly strong or resolute. The fortress walls were described as being adamantine. Or maybe she had an adamantine will, meaning very strong determination.
Ah, okay. To outsmart the Graeae, Perseus used his wit and cunning.
Wit, W-I-T, refers to mental sharpness, cleverness, quick thinking, often with humor. Cunning, C-U-N-N-I-N-G, is similar, but can imply slyness or trickiness used to deceive.
So Perseus used both against the Graeae.
Yes, Perseus used his wit and cunning to trick the Graeae.
Examples today.
For wit, her quick wit made her a popular conversationalist. For cunning, the fox used its cunning to outsmart the hunter. Cunning can sometimes be negative, implying sly deceit.
Got it. And for Medusa's head, he needed the special bag. The cubesis.
The kibisis, K-I-B-I-S-I-S. Kibisis. The specific name for the magical bag or wallet given to Perseus by the nymphs. Not just any bag. It had that special purpose of containing the head's power.
An example sentence.
Perseus carefully placed Medusa's head into the special kibisis.
Is this used today?
No, not really. It's very specific to this myth. Understanding it helps appreciate the story details, but you wouldn't use it in everyday chat. It's like knowing the name Excalibur for King Arthur's sword.
Good comparison. When he attacked Medusa, he flew to her lair.
Lair, L-A-I-R, lair. A den or resting place of a wild animal, especially a predator. In myths, often used for monsters.
Like the Gorgon's hidden place.
Exactly. Perseus flew directly to the Gorgon's lair, a place surrounded by stone victims.
And today.
Yes, we use it. The detective found the thief's lair hidden deep in the forest. Or even playfully, my messy bedroom is my lair.
Okay. After the deed, he had to vanish.
To vanish, V-A-N-I-S-H. Vanish means to disappear suddenly and completely. Often implies mystery or magic.
Like with the cap of invisibility.
Wearing the cap of invisibility, Perseus vanished, escaping the enraged immortal Gorgons.
Other examples.
The magician made the rabbit vanish with the hat, or the fog caused the distant mountains to vanish from sight.
Okay. And for King Polydectes, a strong word describing him is tyrant.
Tyrant, T-Y-R-A-N-T, tyrant. A cruel and oppressive ruler. Someone who rules without mercy, unjustly, often violently.
Like Polydectes persecuting Danae.
Precisely. Perseus used Medusa's head to turn King Polydectes, the tyrant who persecuted his mother, into stone.
How about today?
Definitely used today, politically and historically. The people rose up against the tyrant who'd oppressed them for years. A very negative term.
Right. Finally, we saw King Acrisius' efforts were in vain.
The phrase "in vain." It means without success, futilely, to no purpose. It highlights that an effort or attempt was useless.
Like Acrisius trying to escape the prophecy.
Yes. King Acrisius tried in vain to escape his prophecy, but he met his fate years later.
And other uses.
Very common. They searched in vain for the lost keys, or all her attempts to convince him were in vain. It means the effort failed completely.
Got it. And to describe Perseus himself, we often use an epithet.
An epithet. E-P-I-T-H-E. Epithet. It's a descriptive phrase or title expressing a quality or characteristic of a person or thing, like a special nickname highlighting their most famous deed or trait.
Like Perseus the Gorgon Slayer.
Exactly. A key epithet for Perseus is Perseus the Gorgon Slayer, describing his most famous act.
Are there other examples?
Lots in history and literature. Richard the Lionheart is a famous epithet for King Richard the Cairus of England, or Alexander the Great. It sums him up quickly.
Wow. We've truly journeyed through an amazing story, and along the way, we've carefully unpacked and hopefully learned so many fascinating English words and phrases together. You've heard how powerful stories give words meaning, give them context, making them much easier to remember and understand in your English learning journey. You've connected language to thrilling adventures.
Indeed. The tale of Perseus and Medusa teaches us these profound lessons about fate, courage, and the powerful influence of divine intervention. It also shows us that even heroes, even with incredible help, can't always escape their destiny, and that the most dangerous tools can be used for both destruction and justice.
That's a great point.
So what does this story tell us about the choices we make in our own lives? The paths we walk, even when the future seems uncertain, or perhaps already set? It's a question that still resonates, I think.
A truly thought-provoking question for us all. For you, our dedicated English language learner, remember that every story you explore is a new adventure in language.
Beth?
Don't just read the words. Try to visualize the scenes, feel the characters' emotions, connect the language to those vivid images. Keep listening, keep reading, keep learning new words and phrases. Your English journey is just beginning. There are so many more stories, so many more words to discover.
We truly hope this deep dive has helped you connect with English in a new and exciting way, using the power of these ancient myths to enhance your understanding. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep learning.
Thank you guys for being here. This video is for those of you who are truly dedicated to improving their English. I hope you reach fluency as soon as possible. If you like this video, make sure to like and comment down below what your favorite part was, and subscribe.